You are unsure of your fate, and you will meet your end.
Wow, it's review time! Hey there everyone, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Minute to Win It. Today we are taking a look at a game called Unknown Fate. This is a psychological thriller/horror game that is actually made by two brothers, and this is their first endeavor into video game development. So time to hop right in and see if Unknown Fate is something you should look forward to, or if your fate is to stay far away. So Unknown Fate's story starts where you play an average Joe named Richard, who is minding his own business when suddenly the world seems to pull away and a large skyfish jumps over the road, and cubes start engulfing his surroundings. He's been transported to a world where he must find out what is going on, and the only thing that he has telling him where to go is a mysterious voice that is a wanderer guiding you to your fate. The story plays out in a decent fashion and is relatively well written, as it has plenty of twists and turns throughout the plot that I legitimately never saw coming. In fact, a majority of the game, I sat there literally wondering what the fate of my character would be, because I couldn't tell whether this man was dead already or whether this was a world where he has legitimately been transported and had to find a way back home. So the story is well written, but I can't say the same for the voice acting. The voice acting seems to be rather hit and miss. There's some times when the voice actors sound okay and passable, and there are other times when it simply feels disjointed and delivered with a lack of care and emotion, like something straight out of a B-flick movie. Take a quick listen.
I found you.
Were you looking for me?
As soon as I saw the lights, I thought something was going on. Why did you do that?
I had to. I have to find out what's happening.
So as you can see, it's not exactly Resident Evil 1 voice acting kind of bad, but it's definitely not going to win any awards. Unknown Fate's gameplay is a mix of a little bit of action and puzzle adventure with a lot of walking simulator injected. You have these skills that you unlock called artifacts, which you will use to solve minimalistic puzzles in a situation, to jump across different areas, or just find a way out of a certain situation in general. Jumping in the game is very generous, as you can jump incredibly high, almost like you're on the moon. In fact, you can jump so high that I actually found myself jumping over a lot of the puzzles. Combat is laughably bad, honestly. It literally consists of the majority of the time just pressing the left ZL button to do a flash and stun the enemy, then using ZR to shoot your artifact's ability at an enemy's tail. It never feels challenging and is incredibly slow. It feels like it was just an afterthought put there to make an area feel less dead. I would have preferred feeling weak and having to be in tight corridors running from the enemy and hiding rather than having to use a camera flash in the face and hit them 3 times. Sound design is decent, with the soundtrack feeling eerie enough, but nothing special that would generally stick with me. I wish that using your artifacts would have more of an oomph to it. Sound is serviceable, but it's definitely not something that you'll gain anything from if you play it with headphones. Graphically, the game looks okay in certain situations, but the textures are all in all just lackluster. They seem to be incredibly low resolution, and it can pull you out of the game fairly often, as certain things just look like a muddled mess. I found the hitboxes on certain items to be very odd, as in a few situations I actually had to restart because I would get stuck inside of the geometry of certain objects. This only happened twice in my playthrough, but the fact that it happened at all is unfortunate considering the game is only about 3 to 4 hours long. One thing that is really nice about the game is the actual world design, as it has this cool aesthetic where normal everyday objects that are generally small have become very large, such as using VHS tapes and Jenga blocks as platforms, and has a really nice feel to the world, being that you know that all these things are objects that are in our own world. So Unknown Fate has a very ambitious story that is well written but delivered with some lackluster voice acting, has decent puzzle mechanics but just terrible combat that I honestly feel shouldn't even exist, and a nice world that is just muddled by low resolution textures. There's a theme here that seems that everything is just split right down the middle, where for everything that is good, there's another thing that is just lacking. With such a small development team with 2 brothers, I'm sure it couldn't have been easy for them to create this game, especially being that this is their first game. It seems as though they could have just spent a little more time working on the game and thinking out certain mechanics. I really hope they continue to develop games, as this is a good starting point that just has a few too many flaws due to what seems like a sped up development time, which is something I believe we see far too often in today's gaming landscape. Unknown Fate is priced at $14.99 usually, but is on sale as of the recording of this video for $12.79. At such a low price of entry, if you're looking for a puzzle game that has a good story but you're willing to accept that it has its own fair share of flaws, then check it out. Otherwise, you may want to wait for your next puzzle adventure fix. I am giving Unknown Fate 3 out of 5 Erics. Hey there everyone, I really hope that you enjoyed that video. Let me know if you plan on picking this game up, or if you're just going to wait for another puzzle game that will be up your alley. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys, and don't forget to like or dislike the video, comment, and if you enjoyed this content, subscribe, because I post videos like this every single Wednesday and Thursday. Okay guys, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time. Switch Report, out.